Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Astrology, the astrology of I am. And today we have another super special guest. This man blew my mind when I met him a couple of weeks ago. He is a numerologist who is known for breaking it down, breaking the science of numbers down, and making things very simple and clear in your life. And he did that for me in an amazing way. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce you all to the great numerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. And when we finish this interview, which I conducted over Zoom, I'll come back and say something on the other side.
Lloyd Strayhorn, it's my pleasure to have you on this show, a master numerologist. It's not too often that happens. Thank you so much for being here, sir.
You are welcome, Lorenzo Sanford. Thank you for having me on. I'm very honored, and it was a pleasure to finally meet you. Okay.
The pleasure was all mine. And I have to just tell everybody that, tell all the viewers that you blew my mind. I have studied numerology very casually, but I only studied one particular system. And in fact, I didn't know that there was another system, and it's older, and it's grounded in some things that you feel are very reliable that you use for your clients. And when you gave me that brief reading, it made so much that I had failed to know how to connect make sense. And I just want you to just talk. I want you to express to our viewers the value of numerology, the way you use it, how we can grow from it, and most importantly, since this is coming on Friday on my segment, Venus Fridays When Love Speaks, I'd like to have you address how to use numerology in relationships to grow your relationships. So you have the floor. Go.
Okay. First of all, I'm an astronumerologist. My name is Lloyd Strayhorn. Astro means I combine both the art forms of astrology and numerology, which are African in its origin, which are also sciences, and merge those two together. Now, in numerology, which is the more popular side of it now, there is a system commonly used called the Pythagorean system. That's the easiest system that goes from 1 to 9. So when I do that, that is more easier. But the original system is the Chaldean system that goes from 1 to 8. And that is more ancient. The double numbers are more symbolic and things of that nature. So what I did was, when I did your name under the Chaldean system, the 1 to 8 system, when I did Lorenzo, for example, I saw that it added up to 36. So 3 plus 6 is 9. See, in numerology, if you got 2 or more numbers, you got to keep reducing it till you only got 1. So, for example, let's take a person born on the 19th. They'll say, well, 1 plus 9 is 10. That's it. No, it's not. You got to keep reducing until you got to one single digit. So, therefore, 1 plus 9 is 10. And the next step is to say, oh, 1 plus 0 is 1. Let's say you got somebody born on the 16th. Well, 1 plus 6 is 7. That's what got me hooked on this. I said, this is simple. The numbers only go from 1 to 9. I got 10 fingers up in here. This is a wrap. I got this. Boy, that thing got a hold of me, Lorenzo, and I haven't been right ever since, It's been a wonderful journey. So I tell people that numbers guide people in ways that they can't imagine. You go to a doctor, true. The numbers guide that doctor in telling you about your cholesterol level, your blood pressure level, your sugar level, your EKG, and other numbers that they're looking for. You go to your accountant, those numbers will tell you whether you're going to get back some money, or guess what, Lloyd Strayhorn, you got to pay a lot of money to internal revenue this year, okay? Or you go to a dentist, each tooth in a person's mouth is assigned a number. So the dentist can tell his dental assistant where to apply the Novocaine or whatever the case is to numb the mouth before he begins his or her procedure. And to imagine an athlete, how would one keep up with the score if the numbers didn't exist? And for an athlete, their greatest honor is to have their number retired from the franchise, never ever to be worn again. Okay. So these are kinds of things that we do. But numerology deals with the more spiritual, esoteric, kind of invisible side of the numbers, like a frequency. So people say, what do you mean? Well, they're going to be looking at this show at some point, and in order for them to look at it, they have to tune into some TV or StreamYard, and it's all gotten in a frequency. A person would list their favorite TV show, radio show. Every single one of these has a frequency which are described into numbers. If you look at a computer, it's based upon the principles of ones and zeros, just numbers. It's just how they're done to do this. So for me, and in fact, when the pandemic happened about a year ago in March of last year, and they shut down, I had the $100 challenge. Is how long can you hold your breath challenge? People being all creative. So I put up $100 bill on the screen. I said, "This $100 bill is yours." Okay, and how? But in order to get it, you must show me when you get up tomorrow morning how you're going to go throughout the entire day and not use numbers, as I gave in a lecture in Atlanta. And that means you can't stay in bed all day. That doesn't cut it. You got to go through a normal life. That means you can't answer no phone because they use numbers to get to you. You can't call nobody because you got to use numbers to get to them. You can't buy no breakfast. You can't buy no gas. You can't pay no bills. You can't do much of anything. Okay.
Okay, so then that's well established. Numbers rule everything.
Yeah.
Now, tell us how to apply it in our lives. So, if you don't mind, just use my name and my birth date. My birthday is October 19th, 19. I won't tell the year.
Right, right. Well, see, here's the beauty of it. Numerology, like astrology, deals with your birthday, but like under the any other signs, numerology deals with your name. So I've been on shows like Oprah Winfrey. I've been on all these TV shows. So after that, they will say, they'll talk about the next 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm a Libra. Yeah, I'm an Aquarius, so and so. And then about 10 minutes later, like, yeah, Lorenzo, yeah, Lloyd, well, your name denotes your natural talents, gift, skills, and abilities. Your name not only tells that, but it tells you the kind of people that are drawn to you by way of their zodiac signs or date of birth. It also gives you your career leanings and things of that nature too. So what I did was and I said the first name is the active name. What do I mean? You start a job tomorrow. Hey, I'm Lloyd Strayhorn. I'm Lorenzo. I'm Lorenzo Sanford. Well, by the end of the week, you know what we're doing. Hey, Lorenzo. Hi, Lloyd. In fact, when we first met, within no time, we would just each other. Hey, Lorenzo. Hey, Lloyd. Because the first name is more informal, and it's the most active name. Because let's say if you got brothers and sisters in your household, all y'all wasn't named Lorenzo.
Right.
Now, the only person that does that is former boxing great George Foreman, where
Right.
he named his dog George or his
Right.
boy George. So when he say George, they all gotta, jump up. So that's your active name. So when I transposed it into numbers, it kind of looked like this, if you can see it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so what I did was the name Lorenzo adds up to 36, and 3 plus 6 is 9. My name Lloyd adds up to 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. Now, 9 is a number that indicates people who are very strong willed. They're fighters. They have strong will, grit, and determination. They like to be the master of their fate, the captain of their ships. They like to determine their own destiny. They do not take orders well, and they do not like being bossed around. They're global, universal, international, inspirational, motivational, but they are leaders, and they're also honest in their truth. Okay, so that's the nature of a 9. Then when I took your last name, Sanford, that added to a 3. So the last name tells me the family traits, not only the health tendencies that run in the family and everything like that. But then when I added the first name to your last name, 9 plus 3 equals 12, and 1 plus 2 is 3 again. So the point is, what I do is I begin to look and see what numbers repeat themselves a lot in the name. The first thing is, and of course, one would have to notice, but there are certain numbers that often appears in the name. Of all the numbers, the number 5 is repeated the most, where the number 7 is repeated the least. In other words, it's rare under the Chaldean system when the number 7 appears. Why? Well, number 7 is very spiritual. All the great founders of religious movements have been sevens. Christ, born on the 25th. Bishop Desmond Tutu, born on the 7th. Elijah Muhammad, born on the 7th. Billy Graham, born on the 7th. Mary Baker Eddy, that founded Christian Science, was born on the 7th month on the 16th day. And then you even got Charles Russell, that founded Jehovah's Witness, that was born on the 16th of the month. 1 + 6 is 7. Buddha was born on the 7th. So now you can see why this number is so rarely found, because of its spiritual force in it. So to have the 7 appear one time is one thing. Not you, not hating on you, okay? But you got 4 sevens. I've never seen anything like that. You got 4 sevens right there. And so what that means is leaning toward religion or philosophy or metaphysics or occultism or new age, call it what you will all be a natural thing for you. All righty. You would be the kind of kid when you were growing up, Lorenzo, your mother said, well, honey, God made the world. You want to know who made God. See, this is where you would roll with these sevens. 7 goes down the rabbit hole. 7 in the name. Always want to know the cause and effect. Well, why did you say what you said? Why did you do what you did? And what's happening is 7s ask lots of questions, yet 7s are very private, very laid back. They're very independent in their thoughts and whatnot. So people thinking you're prying in their business and you ain't telling your business. The nature of a 7 is we ask the questions, thank you. We are the investigators, all right? These 7s in your name tells me you have a strongly marked individuality. That's a nice way of saying you like to think for yourself. Thank you, okay? It also indicates you like to be your own best company. 7 is also the number of knowledge and nature. So therefore, whatever your field of expertise is, no one questions it. Normally 7s, like I have a 7, we normally have lots of books in our home, reading material, things that take us to a whole nother level, which diversify. Because you got all these 5s, it means your reading materials run the spectrum from maybe metaphysics to science to law, whatever the case is, or history, Black history, whatever the case is, but it would have all these components to it. 7 is a number that likes to analyze things. They like to really question things in great detail. In fact, there's a statue in France called the Thinker by Rodin. Well, that's a 7. That's a 7 symbol. We always like to think.
I've
We like to question.
I've been fascinated with metaphysics since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And I had a reading when I was 16 from an astrologer, and she told me I was meant to help humanity. And I could never understand how someone could look at a chart and make that kind of pronouncement. It's a heavy thing to tell a teenager.
Yeah.
That started my lifelong obsession with astrology.
But it makes sense to me because you're born under the sign of Libra, which is the 7th sign in the zodiac. You were raised, this was brought to your attention at 16, which is a 7. Wow. So 7 is about knowledge. Even when a Muslim goes to Mecca and makes his Hajj and circle the cobblestone, he must circle the cobblestone 7 times and he has completed his Hajj, okay? Wow. So 7 is always very important, and 7 is always divinely protected. So it just indicates 2, 4, 6, 7. By the way, you have 7 letters in your first name too, Lorenzo. Wow. Just to bring that to your attention too. So you're 7 all over the place, okay?
That's amazing. And what's interesting though, Lloyd, is from my understanding of the Pythagorean system, I'm a deficit. I have 0 7s. So that's
exactly right.
That's what blew my mind when you told me about the Chaldean system, because I'm like, wow, I never knew this existed.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the sleepers, because everybody is very familiar with modern numerology. When the technique I use is called mystic numerology, it's much older, and the double numbers are symbolic of things too. You see what I'm saying? So for example, go ahead.
So I was going to ask you. So you were on Oprah. What did you do? What kind of work did you do when you did the Oprah show?
Well, the 3 times I was on there, I was with 3 other female astrologers on all 3 occasions, which I thought was interesting. So what happens is, of course, she always had a big audience, and the audience would ask questions about their birthdays and whatnot. And it was a lot of fun. She asked me about herself. I have got her autograph and everything like that. So it was a wonderful experience. She treated me royally. We were both Aquarians, by the way.
Right.
She was born on the 29th. I'm born on the 16th. So we just, in fact, her numbers are the 2, 7, 4, and 1. My numbers are the 7, 2, 4, and 1.
Nice.
So this is why you find numbers that are very, very friendly. You and I have two of the numbers, which in your case, you're 1, 4, which is part of your numbers. In fact, your numbers are 1, 4, and 9. But there's a technique that I express in my book, Numbers in You, which is a numerology guide for everyday living.
Can you hold up your book?
Huh?
Can you hold up your book so the viewers can see it?
Well, there are three right there in the background. And if you hold on one second, they can see it. The blue one, the blue one is an extension of this one. This is the Bible right here. Numbers in You, a numerology guide for everyday living. They can get it on Amazon.com. The blue one behind me is an update of this one. This was done back in 1997. Okay. This is still selling. I mean, but when you are dealing with esoteric knowledge, as you know, it never goes out of style.
Exactly.
So 1,000 years from now, still people gonna want to know about their zodiac sign, their number, whatever. So it's one of those kind of things. The rose book in the center is for relationship, which is what people always want to know about. I'm sure they've asked you, they've asked me, they've asked everybody. The green book is from my workbook because I have an online course showing people how to do this. It's called How to Read a Person Like a Book. It's called actually called Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book. And then I have an intermediate advanced course called Learn from Lloyd, The Next Step in Numerology. That course, online course, now have over 2,000 students signed on in 56 countries and 21 languages,
Wow.
which shows you the universality of what we do using astrology and numerology.
So Lloyd, how do you combine the two? You call yourself an astronumerologist. How do you combine the two?
Ironically, my best numerology students are those that's got a background in astrology because the glue between the two are the planets. So if I'm talking about Venus, you would say, oh, you're talking about probably a Libra or a Taurus. For me as a numerologist, I'd say, oh, you're talking about the number 6.
I see.
And that's the glue between the two. That's what that green workbook over my shoulder is about. So you can see the sciences between them. The only thing is, and in fact, where in astrology they have a wheel which is divided into 12 pies, in numerology they have 9, just like a tic-tac-toe box where all of the numbers should go from 1 to 9. They're so closely related that I'm in a rare field where I combine both astrology and numerology together, and you would be just as good as I am, since especially since you are steep into the metaphysics of astrology and you know the nature of the planet. All you got to know is, okay, Saturn rules the 8, Mars rules 9, and once I say that, if I say the number 9, all you got to do is think of Mars, and you described it: aggressive, assertive, confident, cocky, independent. You know what I'm saying? So it would be
Absolutely.
a natural for you. It'd be a natural for you.
Thank you. So tell me about the birth date. What does the birth date give us in terms of? And you can feel free. I joked about my year, but I'm October 19, 1962. So tell us what.
Well, what happens is when you take that portion of it, let's see, you'll see that when I put it together, can you see it on the screen?
No, bring it the other way. There you go. More, a little bit more. Yes.
Okay, and I got September October the 19th, 1962, added it down. It added to 1991, which adds up to a 20. Now, in the compound, see the difference of the Chaldean system is, yes, you got a single number, but this number 2 was made up of the compound number 20. In the tarot, this is referred to as the awakening. It's a picture symbol of a man, a woman, and a child with their hands clasped in prayer, ascending to the heavens, as it were. And it means that as long as you got this destiny, you're always going to be about the business of raising people's consciousness, awareness. Tell them something. Like Joey, don't go mess with Susie. Susie, don't go mess with Joey. They don't listen to you at first, but then they come back and say, you know what, Lorenzo, remember you told me don't mess with that knucklehead? Well, guess what? You were right. It's always about raising people's awareness. With a destiny, the destiny means what you learn over a long period of time from the time you get here until the time you reach the other end of the rainbow. But that's a long, long range. But everybody's from New York City, okay? Even in Atlanta, which means, okay, I hear you, what's going on right now? that's when you go to the immediate birthday. So when you told me you were born October the 19th, I says, oh, you are number one because 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. 1 rules the sun. You know, as a sun number, the sun shines everywhere on this planet Earth, okay?
And I
Just because
and,
it's dark time here, huh?
and just so you know, astrologically, I have the sun in the first house in
That's interesting.
my chart.
That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. So with that indicating, that means you were born near midnight, somewhere around
No,
11:30
near the morning.
in the morning. That's right. That's
Yeah,
right. Sorry, yeah, because you're right. Because I forgot that the way the clock works, it swings up and around that time. Okay, you're right about that. So, but at the same time, so that means you would be born about 5 something in the morning, I think.
exactly.
Yeah, 5 something. So your house would be then the sun would be in the first house.
Yes.
Point is that this acts as a guide to tell you your best days, your best dates, your best months, your important ages, things like that. So once I know a person's birthday, and taking you as an example, we'll take the ages. So your numbers are the 1, 4, and 9. All right. That means important developments happen to you at ages 10, 13, 18, 19, 22, 27, 28, 31, 36, 37. In other words, as long as those ages keep adding to a 1 or a 4 or a 9, that would indicate. Then you can take a year like 19, let's say 81, then 1984, 1989, then the year 1990, 1993, 1998, 1999, taking you into 2002, 2007. All those years that I just repeated added up to the single digit of either a 1 or a 4 or a 9. And so what I love is when I do an interview with a person, then I take them through the Q&A. What's your mother's birthday? What's your father's birthday? What's your address? Almost always, whatever the person's numbers are, they will appear somewhere. And this is my way of confirming for them that these are in fact their numbers, not like, oh, he's Lloyd Strayhorn, he's a great guy. No, that don't mean nothing. I'm out of New York. So in New York, I had to prove everything. And it took me a while, but you know, I got pretty good with this. When I talk to a person, it makes sense. And
Where do
that's
you get
that's
where
what
do you get the where do you get the four from in my name, in my
easy,
numbers?
easy. In numerology, there are pairs of numbers. There's the sun pair, there's the moon pair, and there's the creative artistic pair. The sun numbers are the 1 and the 4. The number 1 rules the summer side of the sun, where the daylight is longer, the temperatures are higher. The number 4 rules the winter side of the sun, where the daylight is shorter and the temperatures are cooler. Then you take the moon numbers, which are the 2 and the 7. The number 2 rules the full side of the moon. The number 7 rules the new side of the moon, you know?
I
So, huh?
I have to admit to you, this is like beyond my understanding, but I am so enthralled with how masterfully you are able to just recall and talk about all this information. I've got to get your book because now
Well,
I
I
have a,
would like to teach you. I would like to teach you privately. All you got to do is just give me, you know, a window of your time. I'll get you started, and you'll be master in numerology in no time. Where you yourself become an astronumerologist. Except you're definitely stronger in the astrology realm, but the numbers will help you so much too. Because what frustrated me when I got started, Lorenzo, was a person. I would do their chart. They would say they were born at 7:53 p.m. I do their chart, all that stuff. I come back, they finally found their birth certificate, and you know what? They were born at 7:53 a.m. Now we know what that means. That means that chart we might as well tear it up and throw it in the garbage, okay? So, and because a lot of people that at least I would kind of were not sure of their time, especially when they say they're not sure, is you know, I could do a sunrise at 12 o'clock, but I would prefer to get the exact time as you and I know, so that way we really know where those planets are in what houses, how they're aspecting each other, trines,
absolutely,
sextile,
absolutely,
and whatnot. So those things are very important.
absolutely.
So with numerology, I didn't have to go through that. All I needed was your month, your day, your year, and I got you. Even if you didn't give me the year, I still got you.
That's fascinating. I can't wait. I'm keeping you, holding
And
you
I
to
want to
that.
teach you. No, I'm making a commitment. Everybody, you know, I don't know how many people are gonna hear this, But that's a bet. I promise you, if you can give me that time, and it's not going to take you long because you're masterful already in a very ancient science. And by the way, astrology and numerology are ancient African sciences. I had this historian, African American historian, Dr. Ben Yekinen, on my show, and he used to take these tours to Egypt every year, about 3 to 4 tours a year to Egypt. And one of the first things he said was in the walls of they had the zodiac signs there. If you come to New York, if you go to 60 Center Street, which is the hub of downtown Manhattan, and you go into 60 Center Street, in the middle of the rotunda on the ground are all the zodiac signs. Okay. And don't forget, back in the 70s and the 80s, there was the Taurus car, there was the Aries car. You know what I'm saying?
Saturn.
You know,
There was a
and so
Saturn
even
car.
when they sent the men up to the moon, one was Apollo 7,
Yeah.
was Aquarius so and so.
Yeah.
So they're either naming the planets or the signs. So it's here to stay. It's here to stay.
Yes. Let's talk about love. Numerology, numerology, and love.
Well, love is a very important thing. And let me tell you where I was confused with astrology until numerology came into play. Angela Bassett is a fire sign. Her husband, Courtney Vance, is a water sign. You and I know that according to the elements, the way they rule the signs, fire and water shouldn't be together. However, when you look at Angela Bassett's birthday, she's born on the 16th day of the month. 1 + 6 is 7. That is ruled by the element of water. If you look at Courtney Vance's birthday, he's born on the 12th of March, and 1 + 2 is 3, and 3 is fire. So that explains the exception. So she is a fire sign with a water number. He's a water sign with a fire number.
Yes.
You know, and it just cleared up the confusion. Where I would tell people, y'all not supposed to be together. They've been saying we've been together 20 years, you know? It ain't like they gotta go get a divorce or anything, or should they? But this cleared up a lot of things of why astrologically for me, if these signs are not supposed to be together, why are they so tight? Why are they close? And so this made for all the difference in the world of explaining it.
Well, this is how you blew my mind when I met you, because as I said, in the Pythagorean method, I didn't have any sevens.
Mm-hmm.
And you told me the Chaldean method, I have 4 sevens. And I have a very strong emotional connection to my wife, and she is a 7 birthday. All her numbers combined to be a 7. And when you said that, it finally made sense to me that all those 7s I have in the Chaldean reflect the 7 in her birthday, and that's one of the reasons why there was this undeniable closeness between us. Yeah.
Not only that, she has a 7 destiny, which rules the new side of the moon, and you have a number 2 destiny that rules the full moon, full side of the moon. So it's like y'all are reflecting off each other. You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
the yin
amazing.
and yang. So and I mean, it's amazing. This science of numerology, once I got into it, cleared up a lot of things. And for you, as an astrologer, a professional astrologer at your level, all this will do is just add more icing to your metaphysical cake. That's all it will do.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, we're going to start. We're going to start. I already got a date in mind for you to get started, too. I'll tell you after the show.
I can't wait. So what do you want people to know about numerology that they may have not understood in the past?
That numerology, when I give people their numbers, right? Like your numbers are 149. It doesn't mean you run to the lottery store, okay? Because that's how people are looking at it. That's how people are programmed. Oh, they're lucky numbers. But I look at that, tell them it's like looking at it's the lottery of life, where you make life-changing decisions, major decisions. You now know that Sunday and Tuesday are your best days because these are the days that rule those numbers. You now know that certain months of the year will be important, like February, April, August, and November will always be dynamic months for you. When you got engaged or married or bought the car or bought the house or did this or that.
I got married in August.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? And we have similar numbers, and I got married in August.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? So you'll see patterns.
And this is April of 4 months. So
yeah, and we're doing it in April.
Having this great interview, expanding my mind in April.
Yeah, but people say that's a coincidence because we're not thinking about it, but subconsciously we know. That's why a woman, you can ask a woman and she can almost feel intuitively what are her best days. We guys don't have that. And almost always when you get her birthday, it would make sense about that. Then you have how numbers follow a person. So if you look at the president Ronald Wilson Reagan, he was born on the 6th of February. He had 6 letters in his first name, 6 letters in his last name, 6 letters in his middle name. When he won the inauguration or the voting in, it was on November the 4th of 1980, which added to a six. He was the 33rd governor of California, which is a six.
Six.
He went to Eureka College, which is 6 letters. His wife Nancy was born on July the 6th. Okay, and in fact, when he left the White House, the friends of the Reagans gave him a house number 666. Nancy changed it to 668. Nancy was one of the few uh, first ladies that used an astrologer, Kathleen Quinn,
Yeah.
after there was an attempted assassination on Ronald Reagan on March the 30th of 1981 there in Washington, D.C., in front of the Hilton Hotel.
Yes.
After that, she brought in Kathleen Quinn, and nothing was done, or he made no major moves until Kathleen Quinn herself consulted his stars.
I have that book.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So Napoleon has used astrology, Hitler has used astrology, the pharaohs have used astrology. And so this is why, as you know, with the exception of maybe the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, every paper you pick up has an astrology column. Very general at best. You and I know that's just a broad paintbrush of it. But to get the real deal, they need to go to professional astrologers like you.
Okay, well, let me ask you this, Lloyd, just to play devil's advocate. Why can't I use numerology to win the lottery?
Well, I don't know. Well, you probably can, but that was not my intention. Because people say, well, and I'll put it like this. Had I hit that multi-million-dollar lottery, I'd have probably been somewhere and I wouldn't be talking about the subject. So I think my role in it is to help people guide themselves. Now, people have told me they've won quite a bit. I have a video a woman sent me from Chicago when I was on Oprah Winfrey show. I told her to play certain numbers and she showed me a check she had won on the TV of $230,000. Then there was another gentleman that he came to see me and told me later, it's interesting, show you how people do. He came back to me a couple of years later that said the reason why he came back was when he first came to me and I gave him numbers, he won $88,000. But he ain't say, well, Lloyd, let me show you a little love up in here, okay? He was out of love. He was out of love, and then he wanted to get back together again. Hey, people, something else. You know this to be true, boy. People, something else. So,
Exactly.
but they'll brag about how I gave them the number and they hit the number, but nobody come knocking on my door to say, let me share a little love up in this piece.
Exactly. Well, Lloyd, I just want to tell you, man, this is fascinating. I can't wait to study with you. I hope everyone goes
We're
out.
going to start next week.
Absolutely. And I hope everyone goes out and gets your books. And where can they reach you online?
Well, they can go to my website. That's even better. Go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. That's LLOYD-Strayhorn, STRAYHORN.com, and sign up for the free monthly newsletter. There's a associate that I have in Detroit. I'm in New York, and we write the monthly newsletter, Lloyd and Kaya. And I think you're going to be interviewing her soon. But the point is, and on the internet, it's Instagram, Numbers in You, Twitter, Numbers in You, Facebook, Numbers in You, and LinkedIn, Lloyd Strayhorn.
And where can they find your course, the one that's...
to sign up for the course, go to my website, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. When you hit the landing page, just scroll down, sign up for the free monthly newsletter, then go further down. You can either register for the beginning course, Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book, or the intermediate and advanced called Learn from Lloyd, The Next Step in Numerology. And I'm about to add another third component to it. I just haven't made up the name yet, but it's going to be Learn from Lloyd, blank, blank, blank.
That's beautiful, man. I'm so proud of what you're doing, how you're opening people's minds, and that you're turning them back to ancient wisdom, which they can use in their current lives.
Yes, exactly.
That's such a blessing, and I can't thank you enough for being with us. I know you've opened up people's minds here, and a lot of people are going to be coming to you to get more information. So I wish you the best. I thank you, and I'm
Thank you. And I'll
always
be
looking.
calling you over the weekend so we can schedule our first session of many, I pray. So you are my metaphysical colleague, and you now stuck with me, brother, and I'm stuck with you. It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
Absolutely.
All right, as they say, I say.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Okay, thank you too.
Peace to you.
Hey, buddy. Peace to you too as well.
Well, that was a great interview. I don't know if you got as much out of it as I did. There's a lot to numerology, but Lloyd Strayhorn is the man to go to, and you can reach him at all of his social media sites. Lloyd Strayhorn, we'll list that in the link. And also, hopefully, I'll be learning more about numerology myself, and I'll be including it in my work. So, yay for Lloyd Strayhorn and opening us to another modality which we can use for our growth and our understanding. In the meantime, though, if you need an astrology reading, you can contact us here at Astrologic Astrology, on YouTube as at Astrologic Astrology, on Instagram, and our website, www.astrologicastrology.com. As always, we wish you love and peace, and we say namaste. The spirit in me recognizes and honors the spirit in you.
Ba-da-ba.